We want to build the #1 international baseball league.
Oh, what a catch! What a catch, baby!
Like I said, I feel blessed.
The pitcher grabbed by Schlitter goes for the force of the plate.
Ground ball, double play, game over. Wow!
This is a money ball, gentlemen, and this.
Oh, money ball!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Baseball United podcast, the premier voice for international baseball. I'm your host, Liam Skiffington, and today we are lucky enough to be joined by a beacon of growing the game of baseball in the Middle East region, the president of Dubai Little League, Mr. Roger Duthie. Roger, thanks so much for joining the show. How's everything going?
Good. Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys having me, and I love your intro on the that audio because I was there during the Moneyball, and that was pretty cool. That was the coolest thing ever. So, yeah, I appreciate your time today, Liam. Thanks.
Appreciate yours as well. So, Roger, we'll hop right into it. We got a lot to cover, but tell me about how you first got involved in Dubai Little League.
You know, it's kids, really. My son was 3 years old. We've been in Dubai for a few years. I wanted my son to play baseball, and I volunteered to coach T-ball, 3 years old. 18 years later, my son is playing baseball in college right now, and I couldn't leave. I was kind of moved up through the ranks in with the administration, and then I was voted in as president 5 years ago now. So a total of 18 years, but the last 5 as president. So it's, you know what, it's a volunteer organization and not for profit. So everyone has to roll their sleeves up and get involved. And that's how I started.
So you mentioned your son was a baseball player. Is he still playing now?
He is. Yeah, he's playing college baseball. So 3 years ago, we had 3 kids in Dubai, all left-handed pitchers get scholarships to play baseball at the next level. So we're really excited about that. So we've had over 20 kids from our little league. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but coming from where we're coming from, Dubai, Middle East, a lot of transient families, to have over 20 kids play the next level is pretty special. We're really proud of that. And that's just growing. Every year we're growing. We had seven kids about 4 years ago, and that was the highest number in 1 year.
So forgive me, Roger, you said you've been involved in Dubai Little League for how long?
18 years.
18 years. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So in those 18 years, Roger, almost 2 decades, how have you witnessed the game evolve?
You know what? I'll tell you how. One thing is the international aspect of it, which was amazing because when I first started, it was mostly North Americans, if I'm honest. But over the years, and especially in the last maybe 5-6 years, we've had Europeans, we've had Asians, we've had obviously North Americans. We have Russians now who play. So what it really was eye-opening for me is just the international aspect of baseball. It's not this American game or this Canadian game. I'm Canadian, so I have a lot of Canadian references here. It's not a North American game, but it's really global, you know, and I think the modern game is really global, and we see that with the recent, you know, the last WBS championship game with Japan and America, right? Japan won. So, I mean, it's an amazing international sport. We're an international community where we are. And that's what I'm seeing. A lot of international families coming in and playing baseball now, which is great.
Roger, what are some of the challenges you guys have? Because cricket is obviously huge in the region. What are some of the challenges you guys have as it relates to almost not really converting these young kids into baseball players, but getting them involved at such a young age where baseball is at the forefront of their mind?
It's going back to my international point. It's making these kids realize that this isn't America's game. This is the world's game. This is global. Where we are in the center of the world, we've got East, we've got West, we've got North and South. You know, people from those regions coming and joining us, right? So it's trying to get those kids. You're right. It's a heavy cricket population here with the Indians and subcontinent folks, but trying to get them just to give it a shot, just to give it a try. And now we have a lot of, you know, Indians, we have Sri Lankans, we have Pakistani players, and it's wonderful to see. And honestly, first, you know, we have an adult league as well. We've had some guys from the subcontinent come in and they'll play with no gloves. And I'm saying, no, guys, no, you need a glove here. You need a glove. So teach them how to play it. And these are young adults too, right? So it's not just about the youth, obviously, but it's about growing the game internationally at all elements. We have a men's league from 18 years old, maybe 20 years old to 67 is our oldest player. And we have new guys all the time playing, right? So I'm trying to foster a community of a complete all-inclusiveness. Doesn't matter if you've never played before, boys, girls, it really doesn't matter for us. And that goes from our T-ballers all the way up to our adult league. So that's where it's changed over the years.
So the ages you guys cater to in Dubai Little League is from T-ball all the way up to adult men?
I mean, technically, yeah. Yeah, our adult men comes under the Little League auspices. So we pay for the fields, we rent the fields off of ourselves. We have a full-on adult league. And again, the league is involving, we have a Korean team, we have a Latino team, we have a Japanese team, and these are all people from those nationalities. And then we have two North American teams. And the North Americans are Europeans, I say North American, predominantly North American, but on those teams we have Europeans, we have Russians, we have Spanish, Irish, French, Netherlands. You'd be shocked. I didn't think they played baseball in Ireland, but we have a player. I mean, he's really good. Like he's a proper player. He's adult, but he's really good. And he gets his kids playing now. And that's what we're trying to do with the adult baseball is, all right, you're new to Dubai. You see baseball for yourself, but guess what? We've got a whole community underneath us that you can get your kids in there and play it. And that's what I'm finding happening. And that's really what the beauty of the adult baseball does. It really feeds the DLL communities.
How rewarding is it for you to see so many different nationalities come together and play the sport?
What's more rewarding is what we did after COVID, because we had a really good league before COVID, and that really hurt us. It hurt a lot of us. Baseball's my life, and I'm at the ballpark pretty much every day, whether I'm coaching or doing my administrative duties or I'm playing or practicing, right? So I'm there. COVID, like a lot of people around the world, it really hurt. It really hurt. And we lost a lot of families. And look, you asked me one of my other challenges. It's money. That's the honest truth. We are the most expensive Little League organization to run in the world. And that's the truth. Because of our land is so valuable, we're in the desert. We have lights, so we have to play at nighttime because it's a little bit cooler at times. We have to water. Water's very expensive. The fields that we play on are prime property in Dubai. We got a wonderful facility, but I have to pay for that. So I'm constantly trying to raise money through sponsorships, through other partners, through the government. I'm just literally going cap in hand because we live from month to month sometimes, and that's kind of scary. But we have really high bills, so that's another one of my challenges.
Roger, could you walk me through a little bit of the history about the league and how you guys came in? Because your facilities are beautiful, as you said. How did you guys come into those facilities? We
were donated the facilities by Sheikh Mohammed. So he's our patron. The league really, I mean, the history of baseball goes way back, and even in Saudi Arabia. But and there's been baseball in the Middle East for many years. Not professional baseball, mind you, but just baseball. Our league really started in 1996 when a family moved over here from America. They wanted to play baseball, and then they sort of self-organized themselves. And then they said, well, let's formalize this. So they applied for an international Little League charter, and they were awarded that, and that was in 1997. I got here in 1998. My son was born in 2001. He started playing in 2000, well, probably 2. I mean, I had him at a very early age. And then we just sort of really fostered that community of come and join us. And we also have a challengers division, which is those children with disabilities. So that's been going on for the last 15 years. And I say division, it's 2 teams, and they play and they do their best. And we have our senior boys or girls come and help those children with disabilities. In Dubai, the government affectionately calls these people of determination, and it's a lovely term. So these children, people of determination, come and they play baseball, and that's part of the whole process of inclusivity and everyone working together as a community.
What an absolutely beautiful initiative, Roger. Wow, I'm taken aback by that. That's absolutely beautiful.
After this, you can have a look at it. It's gorgeous. It's really sweet. It's really nice. Yeah.
So, Roger, what are some of the core values of Dubai Little League?
We're teaching these young people about sportsmanship, sportspersonship, about inclusivity. But the bottom line, we want to teach them through sport to be better human beings. That's the bottom line. And baseball teaches sport, how to be on a team, not to be self-centered, working with your teammates, working with those people who might not be as skilled as you. Because look, we don't have tons of divisions here. We don't have we have a travel team, but they only play themselves unless they're traveling around the region. So the disparity in the talent level is sometimes tricky, right? You may have a beginner playing with some child who's played 5, 6, 7 years. And we teach those kids, don't be frustrated because you were there once upon a time. So work with your teammate to help that person become a better teammate. To me, that's the bottom line. We always say that we're trying to teach these young people to be better human beings at the end of their DLL experience. That's the bottom line.
So, Roger, how does Dubai Little League engage with these local communities and kind of get more families involved?
It's all about word of mouth. At the beginning of the year, in the summers, we go to the schools, the American schools. We have expos with the American schools. We've got volunteers who go out and hand out flyers. And we've got digital marketing. We used to have a guy who did some outdoor advertising for us for free. So along our main highway, we had big signs, come join Little League. My experience, my background is marketing. So I'm using my marketing initiatives, my contacts to really try to get the word out there that we exist and that we're a community. And as I said, we're an exclusive international community. We have two locals on our board, and one Emirati young man played in Little League, right? So he played in Little League from about 4 years old all the way up through the system, went off to college, came back and asked me how he can get back involved. And I said, I need a new board of director. I need you to be on the board of director. So he's on the board, right? And now he's fostering that community with the Emiratis as well. So going back to my diverse international element on that, we have Canadians, Americans, and Emiratis on our board.
Roger, I do want to talk to you about something you mentioned earlier in the show, that baseball was kind of always your first true love. How did you get involved in baseball, and at what age, and what was it like? Like, were you a player? Were you involved? Like, did you work for a team or anything like that?
Yeah, no, I'm sports background, sports marketing background. But, as a kid, I played through my parents. My father's a ball player. My brothers were ball players. We played all along. So baseball is really, the first love, but was never good enough to take it to the next level. But, I'm still playing in Dubai, and we play with wooden bats. And, I'm facing guys who are 28, 27 years old and not doing great, but still competing. So it's just in my blood. And I'm a big baseball fan as well. Now, as I said, my son is playing baseball, and I just love it. It's a wonderful sport. For everything we mentioned before about our Dubai Little League values, I take that to heart, and that's how I live my life, right? And through baseball, I love the sport.
What position do you play?
I still play shortstop. I'm running the team. I manage the team, so I'm hanging on probably by the hair of my chinny chin chin playing shortstop. But we've got some younger guys now coming up. They got a little bit better movement, but you got to earn your stripes, right? You got to earn your stripes. So I'm moving down in the batting order, which is fine, which is okay. But I still like to hang on to the shortstop position.
From kids to adults, how many people total are involved on these teams?
Oh, total, we have from kids to adults right now, we're probably up to about 800. We also have a thriving slow pitch league as well, that they're not a part of our Dubai Little League per se, but they play within our community. And a lot of the kids whose parents play slow pitch in the adult slow pitch league, they play baseball as well. Remember, we have softball too. We have 2 girls softball divisions as well. So adult slow pitch, some of those feed into our girls softball divisions, and then we have some girls who play baseball with the boys. Last year we had a girl pitching, we had a girl catching, we had a girl playing, a girl hitting actually on one in one particular inning. So I sent a photo, and we sent that to Little League International, and they posted it on their website. So little things like that kind of help. They go a long way.
Dubai Little League recently signed a partnership with Baseball United. Tell me about how that got started and how that marriage came together.
We've been talking to Baseball United for many years now. Randomly, about 2 years ago, I had a message from one of the Baseball United guys, and on that message, I think it was either Albert Pujols or Mariano, I think, sent the video message. I'm like, Mariano Rivera is mentioning Dubai Little League and asking for a meeting? What the heck is this? Who are these guys? And then we saw some of the other, the owners who are now owners. Some of those guys had sent out messages. We had some video calls while we were at the Little League Park, and Mariano was on the call, and I'm like, holy man, there's Mariano Rivera on my phone. Like, that is so cool. So we'd always, and it's important for not to put words into their mouths, but to get the grassroots community here, I would imagine, to be supporting them, and bringing professional baseball here is a wonderful avenue for our kids to see that not only the next level, but the next level above that, and see how these professionals carry themselves. So we were talking for many years and how we could actually get this deal done, and then Cash and I finally worked out a nice deal last year, and here we are. So we're really excited about our partnership with Baseball United. They've done nothing but good in this region for baseball. We're really, really proud of it.
Roger, what opportunities has Baseball United kind of given Dubai Little League since your partnership came together?
Probably the most incredible thing ever in the history of Little League. I'm going out there on a limb and saying this, so hopefully your listeners will back this up. I'm going to say we're possibly the only Little League in the world that had two Hall of Famers throughout the first pitch to opening up their season. So we had Mariano Rivera and Albert Pujols throw out our first pitch last year to open our season. I mean, that is ridiculous. That's the craziest thing ever. It was the coolest thing ever for me to be announcing these guys on the field. Two of our senior kids caught those guys when they threw the first pitch out. We had well over 1,000 people attending, which is a record opening ceremony day for us. That's just one thing. And then our kids got to go on the field of the showcase matches and get autographs signed. And then alluding back to my men's league, one of our players was drafted, and he plays professional ball in Germany. Obviously, he's the stud of our league. He kills us all the time. But he's a professional player, and they found him and drafted him, and that's another avenue. My goal, my long-term vision, dream, I suppose, would be have one of our kids that had come up through Dubai Little League get drafted, come full circle and play back in Dubai for Baseball United. I mean, that would be the dream come true, and that would mean Baseball United is here for the next 15 years, right? If those kids can cycle through Dubai Little League, go off to America, play college ball, be good enough then to get drafted into a BU team, would be just a dream come true.
Roger, so you mentioned earlier you were at last year's showcase. What was that experience like for you?
Amazing. I mean, to see professional baseball here and to see some of the names that you're seeing on the field, you're like, wow, that was crazy. Bartolo Colon opened it. It was just the coolest thing. And before the game, we went down there and talked to Chris Byers, who's the player I mentioned earlier who got drafted. And I mean, he was in awe as well. And we spoke to him obviously afterwards, and we talked when we play, and he just said it was an amazing experience for him. So yeah, and to see the Dubai, and the beauty of it was there was a lot of fans who didn't understand baseball, and that's fine. And that was, that's the new audience that I think they're trying to reach. And to sit with these guys and explain the game, and literally explain the game, balls and strikes and hits and that sort of thing, when their cricket background is what they're used to. But to explain that, and then for them to understand it, and then understanding, oh, that's a home run. Oh, okay. And then I had to explain the sixth, the money ball to them, which was a bit confusing, but I didn't get into that too much. So, so it was really exciting to see these guys, not only from the opening pitch of our Dubai Little League, but from the opening pitch of the Baseball United Showcase. Was just an amazing experience for our entire baseball community here.
So you mentioned Chris Byers. I was on the field for most of the showcase, and every single time Byers' name was announced, the crowd went nuts. It seems like he's really involved with the league and the youth programs out in that region. Can you speak on that a little bit?
Sure, yeah. Chris coaches. He does some private training, does some coaching. He was just coaching in our championship weekend last weekend. And now these kids have someone to look up to, who's one of us. Do you know what I mean? I said in our closing ceremony last week, I have to share Chris with Baseball United, but he plays on our men's team, as I mentioned, and then he's just walking around our venue as a normal baseball player, and he coaches the kids, and he's becoming a bit of a legend over here now, which is great, right? That's what you want. You want these kids now to look up to somebody and have someone they can touch and feel to aspire to, and Chris is that guy. He's that guy. So, and he's wearing that role really well.
How do you envision the future of this partnership with Baseball United and Dubai Little League?
I just hope both keep growing. I think what they're doing with Baseball United is trying to grow the game here, and people will get wind of that and say, oh, how can I play baseball? Well, actually, here's the avenue to play baseball. And it starts from here at the grassroots of Dubai Little League. So I see our partnership continue to grow from strength to strength. And as I said, one day it'd be great to see it come full circle with one of our players getting drafted down the road and for a BU team. That would just be a dream come true.
So Baseball United co-founder Cash Shake often says that what we're doing here is insane. Bringing a professional baseball league to that region is absolutely insane. When you first heard about that, Roger, as someone who's been involved in baseball over there for almost 2 decades, what was your initial reaction to a professional league coming to the region?
It's insane. That was my reaction. But seeing the dedication, determination, the culture that Cash refers to come to fruition, I think then it some of the best ideas in the world are a bit crazy and a bit insane, aren't they? So it stopped becoming less insane when the product was on the field, when we had Barry Larkin come and speak to our kids, when we had, Wilson Rivera thing, the opening day ceremony, when these kids, Nick Swisher came out and looked at a few of our kids. So when you're getting these actual legends, hands-on, touching and feeling baseball in this region, these kids getting tutoring from them and private lessons, it's not so insane now. It becomes more real. And then the kids spread the word, and that just keeps growing and growing and growing. And now through the region, as you see what's happening in KSA and other parts of the region, it's not so insane now. It's more doable than insanity.
So we touched on this a little bit earlier. Grassroots is really where all of this starts, Roger. I think you'd agree with that. What initiatives are Baseball United and Dubai Little League putting together in order to continue to develop more local talent?
I would love to see, and Cash and I have spoken about this, our facilities probably are obviously not up to world-class standards that we need to put on for the professionals, but it'd be great to try to get some clinics at our facilities. We just built a change room recently, which we didn't have, so we've got locker rooms now. We're going to brand them Baseball United. We're going to put Chris Byers' frame shirt up in there. I've told Cash he's more than welcome to get, they can do the insides of it if they like. I think getting more of the grassroots when we can, whether it's Chris Byers or some of the other legends, to have more contact with our kids, because that gives it that more hands-on experience. When I was a kid growing up in Toronto and I'd go down to the Blue Jays games or Leafs or wherever you are, you see these players and you aspire to them, right? And sometimes you dream to be them. In Dubai, we never had that before. We never had an opportunity to send our kids to a ballpark and see these professional baseball players until now. So I'd love to see these guys out at our fields when we can, or at Baseball United's fields, wherever that may be. But I'd love to see more one-to-one or group lessons with Baseball United and some of their players, because that's what will spur the kids on, and that's where the knock-on effect with their friends and their communities and their schools, and that's how we grow the game together.
Going back to the showcase for a minute, Roger, there were a ton of kids, a ton of families there, and certainly a ton from Dubai Little League. What was some of the feedback you got about that showcase from these families?
Amazing. Yeah, it was an amazing opportunity for kids. We had a tournament on at the same time that weekend. And so we scheduled the games so that we could send our teams out to the showcase. And obviously I was on a group chat with everybody and we're trying to organize it. And when we started talking about tickets and this and that, tickets, boom, they went. We immediately took X amount of seats and people were all over it right away. So very, very, very excited. Yeah. And depending on what happens in the future, I'd love to combine that with our regional tournaments so that those kids from Doha, from Saudi, we had a recent tournament where kids from Singapore, Hong Kong come over. That's when it'd be nice to get those kids involved in a game or some opportunity with Baseball United down the road as well, just to continue to grow the sport regionally, locally and regionally, but also throughout Asia.
How can people get involved in Dubai Little League?
They can go on our websites. They can go on all of our social media channels. We answer all of our messages. We will be holding open days. We're coming down now to the end of our season, and our adult season ends in about 2 months. And then for the next probably May, we play until it's too hot in Dubai, and we generally play till June, and then it gets pretty tough, and then it's the diehards. We have our sauna league where we just have pickup ball. But during that time in May, we may be having some open sessions for new kids. I'm creating a role this year where we have more of a education liaison officer who will be reaching out to other schools, not just the American or Canadian schools, but the German schools, for example, the French schools, for example, to try to get some of those European communities who you would not think play baseball, but get them more involved in baseball. We'll be doing some open clinics with those potential kids in May.
What's been one of the most surprising things that you've witnessed during your time with Dubai Little League?
I mean, going back to Baseball United, I have to say, having Pujols and Rivera on our mound in my office afterwards, beforehand, talking to these guys, and then they're coming out, they're sitting with our sponsors. Mariano Rivera ate popcorn from Popcorn Passion, is one of our sponsors. And the beaming, this gentleman was beaming the sponsor, this man who owned this company. And he showed me the photo again when I saw him. He goes, look, there's Mariano Rivera eating my popcorn. You know, that kind of stuff was just, it's invaluable. It's invaluable. And that's what Baseball in the United is doing, not just for our sponsors, our kids, but our sponsors. And that goes to the whole ecosystem that Dubai Little League is all about. So that's, surprising. That's kind of hard to say, but I would say having those two gentlemen grace our field was the most surprising, all-inspiring moment of my career, the Dubai Little League so far.
I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners are too, Roger. What does your day-to-day look like as the president of Dubai Little League?
Hammering out emails, trying to get more money, raising money. You know, that's what I did all morning. You know, we're trying to pay bills. We've got a lot of behind-the-scenes headaches I won't bore you with that I'm dealing with. Whether it's trying to sort our electricity out, or our water got shut off because there was a pipe burst, you know, and then I get called down all hours of the day. So it's a day full of admin. It's a day full of trying to raise more funds, and it's a day putting out fires. So it's kind of the three main things I spend my time doing. Mostly the latter, that's putting out fires.
Roger, so why was Baseball United the right partner for you guys?
I think it's what they bring to the table. It's what they bring to the table, and the opportunity and the possibilities. Honestly, to have these professional players and these legends come over here and do what they did for our crowd, our kids who don't have this opportunity, was, again, I use the word awe-inspiring for these kids. It gives them something to aspire to and to look up, and we never had that. We had some players come through before. We did some deals with Los Angeles Dodgers, but these are one-off, in and out, and that's it. You know, these guys are going to be here doing some training facilities. They see that, you know, we've got a lot of branding around our facilities. So that connection will continue to grow, and I'm trying to instill that connection with our membership, that, look, these guys are here to stay. Let's support them. Tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your friends who we are as a community, but who Baseball United is as a community, and that our partnership exists, and it's a fruitful one, and hopefully will be a long-term partnership.
Can we dive into a little bit more about the facilities? Like how many fields are there? Are they grass? Are they turf? What kind of dirt is on there? Like, I'm very curious about the entire thing.
We're all grass. We've got 2 T-ball fields. And then we have 3 other fields, 3 other fields. We have a seniors field, 4 other fields. So we have a seniors field, which the dimensions are 300 down the left, 310 with a giant green monster wall, and then 300 down the right side. So not long, but you know, these kids are knocking it over. So I'm thinking of making the green monster kind of throughout the whole entire facility of that main ballpark. We had clay in from the Los Angeles Dodgers. We bought about 5 years ago. We bought tons of clay, literally tons and tons and tons and tons of clay. We got shipped in. So the infield was clay from the Dodgers, literally. The grass is just, grass that was brought in through some of the golf courses and golf course nurseries here. We have one of our head maintenance keepers. He's also a golf expert, so part of that whole agronomy was born out of that partnership. We've got sponsors on board who are selling concessions. We've got a merchandising hut. We've just launched a wall of honor where we're putting up those kids who made it to college ball. We're putting their photos up. Lifetime Achievement Award winners are up there as well, plus honorary members, including Chris Byers. So our facilities are pretty cool. I love them there. We've got a guy who looks after the facilities through another company, lives on site. So I go out there every morning, make sure that garbage is picked up, make sure that, the signages aren't falling down, make sure that everything's in order. And it works. It just works, and I can't think of another place I'd rather be in the world than at my Dubai Little League field.
You mentioned that Chris Byers was honored a little while ago. What can you tell me about that ceremony?
Yeah, so every year we have an opening ceremony where I alluded to that Mariano and Albert threw out the first pitch. And then we have a closing ceremony. And they're really quite formal. We have the scouts come out and we do the national anthems. And then our closing ceremonies is really to thank everyone and recognize everyone for a successful season. And what I thought we'd do this year, because we launched the Wall of Honor and this special honorary category where we've got only 3 people. One is Steve Fish, who's an ex-Boston Red Sox scout and an ex-California Angels pitcher in the minor leagues. He comes out a lot and helps with us. Marcus Hellberg is the current first base coach for the San Francisco Giants. He's an ex-teacher in this region. He was Buster Posey's best friend and roommate in college. So we have a close affiliation with Marcus Hellberg, and he's taught my son. He's taught a lot of people out here. Now he's with the Giants, so we honored him. And then we thought it'd be great to have Chris Byers as an honorary member of our Wall of Honor because of the Baseball United partnership. Chris is the first player in our community to get drafted to be a professional player, even though he plays in Europe. But we're talking our homegrown. Chris is one of us, and he was raised in Saudi, played baseball in Saudi, came out here, coaches kids, plays with us. He's one of the boys. And all of a sudden, he's getting drafted by the Baseball United team. I mean, so he deserved to go on our to get recognized as well as this very special honorary selection.
Roger, you talked about the partnership that Dubai Little League had with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I believe you said once a year, some Dodgers players would go over there. You mentioned that was a one-off kind of thing. What is the difference between that partnership and the partnership with Baseball United?
Well, that deal was through Emirates Airline, and they sponsored the Dodgers. And part of that deal was that the Dodgers players, 2 players maybe, would come over once a year and do a clinic. But once that partnership with Emirates ended, and now it's over, the players stopped coming. Baseball United, I think, will have more. Will be a longer-term partnership, a longer-term play. I mean, that's the plan for everyone. I know they have a 15-year deal to start out with, but hopefully that's a deal forever. And I know they're doing work in the region, so. Our partnership and a partnership with the Dodgers will differ in that the consistency will be there. The guys came out for opening day ceremony. The guys came out for closing ceremony. There's promotions. There's activations throughout the year, giving our kids the opportunity to go to Baseball United headquarters in Dubai and then have a Zoom call with a legend. I mean, that's just so cool, right? For these kids. That's a really cool initiative. But I've when I speak to the guys at Baseball United, we're always talking about, okay, what can we do next? Give us your calendar of events, and here's what we'll try to do. And we'll raffle off a game-worn shirt, or we'll raffle off some balls, or we'll do this, or we'll do that. And that's great. And that's what a partnership's all about. It's give and take on both sides. And these guys are really working with us to promote the game of baseball, and we're working with them to help promote Baseball United and what these guys are here for. So it's going to be a longer-term partnership than our Dodger deal.
You being around these kids seemingly all the time, Roger, what are some of the major league teams that seem to be their favorite and some of the players?
Well, I mean, kids being kids, Pujols and Rivera right now, forever. But honestly, the Dodger thing was pretty cool. We had Justin Turner out here, we had Agon, we had Dave Roberts, Muncy, Oral Hershiser. So we had some pretty good names out here, and they were doing some clinics, and they got the kids at a young age. So I would say the Dodgers, much to my chagrin, I'll say the Yankees too. A lot of people are Yankees fans. We've got a lot of Canadians, so I'm going to throw a plug out there for the Blue Jays. People love Vladdy, and a lot of the kids out here love Vladdy. But of course, the judges, and now hot topic is Ohtani. So he's another. We're not selling any of these shirts in our merchandising hat, but I guarantee you, if we did, Otani's shirt would be the number one seller.
Roger, since this marriage between Baseball United and Dubai Little League came together, what can you tell me about your experience with our CEO and founder, Cash Sheikh, and how he's kind of ingrained the Baseball United core values into Dubai Little League?
Yeah, Cash is great. He's very proactive, reactive. We have a really good relationship, and if there's something that goes wrong, then we just address it with each other. Not that things that go wrong, but we just say, hey, this has happened or this has happened, and we always find a solution. He's really easy to work with. I love what he's doing with respect to the culture of what Baseball United is all about, and it's a hard culture. Building what they're trying to do is really hard. It's really difficult, and people do have to work hard and roll their sleeves up and do things they might not be used to, but that's the culture that he's trying to instill with Baseball United, and they're from a business point of view, from my understanding. And it's not for everybody, right? But for those who want to be involved, those people who it is for, then it's going to be a lot of hard work, but it's going to be so rewarding at the end of it. So Cash and I have a great relationship. I respect what he's done. He set out to do something, and he's done it, and he's delivered, and that to me is really tops. I think that's so. Hats off to him.
Have you been to the Baseball United headquarters in Dubai?
I have, yeah, a few times, yeah.
What do you think of that office? I myself haven't even been there yet, so I'm waiting for the day when that comes.
Yeah, I'm a kid in a candy store. My mouth is agape because there's baseball on TV, and there's like I said, the bats, and he'll go in there. Hey, look at this is the bat that was used for so and so, and this is the ball, and this. Yeah, it's really cool. I think it's only going to get better with all the memorabilia, but the shirts are there, and yeah, just the equipment, and it's cool. It's fun, and as a baseball aficionado like myself, I love that kind of stuff. I go in there and like I said, I try to steal everything, but it doesn't usually work.
Roger, what message would you like to share with aspiring young ball players and families looking to get involved in Dubai Little League?
Come out, get involved. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your ability. Baseball is about having fun. It's about playing with your teammates. It's about getting to know new teammates and new friends. And if you're really, really good at it, maybe you could go on and play to another level, but that's not what it's all about. It's about learning to be good people, good sportsmen, good sports girls, and just really enjoying what baseball does as a community. It's such a global community, and to be part of it is we're very, very lucky here in Dubai that our players, our friends and family are from different cultures and different nationalities. Get out there, check us out on our social media channels, come to our website. You can get involved, you can get in touch with myself or our administrative team at info@littleleague.ae, and please do. We'd love to have you.
Roger Duthie, thank you so much for joining the Baseball United podcast. We will see you next time.
Liam, thank you very much, and I really appreciate it. And keep up the good work.